You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
Hey, another week is over, and we are here. Those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton here in studio. Jeff Smith live from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek up at Plain and Simple Golf School in Columbus. And Jeff got the good news for you, man. We're halfway there. Those Weekend Golf Guys free app for the Android system is available.
Oh, I love it.
Go to Google Play right now, and you can download it for free, and you can listen to us anytime on your schedule, not on ours. Which is
that's terrific.
Even more convenient.
Even I like that.
I know, and you
know what? It's funny. Even though I'm on the show,
yeah,
I don't get to listen to the show when it's on because we're on.
Yeah.
Now I can listen to it whenever I want.
That's right. That's right. And you can, amaze and astound all your friends saying, hey, listen to this. Push the button and they go, wow, Jeff, that's you. And you said something semi-intelligent. Good going. Now for Apple users, iPhone users, you're going, well, what about us? Well, the Apple people are very, very particular, and you can create all of the apps you want, but they have to approve it first. So give us a couple of weeks and we will be approved. And then you will be able to
Apple
download
people.
it. I know. Arrogance is
okay.
their name. But that's
It's okay. I shouldn't say, those Apple people, because I have Apple products.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm an Apple people.
I'm an Apple people.
Apple people. Yeah.
Just, all right. Either get a thing for your microphone or stop saying words that begin with P. Okay?
Okay.
That's just...
so I can say... I won't say purple?
Don't say purple people, Apple people, purple people. Don't say any of that. Don't say any of that. Listen, we've got one overriding topic today is we're on a campaign to stomp out illiteracy. And you and I have had conversations repeatedly off air and on air. We had a long conversation last week with Brooke Watts. One of the problems that everybody has, admit it or not, but nobody really knows how to read a green accurately simply by looking at it. Would you agree with that?
That a lot of people think that they can see the grain and they can see the slope and they can see the hole and all that, and I'm telling you, they can't see it as well as they can feel it. And that's the difficulty.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know what they're looking at, and a lot of people don't know what a certain angle would do.
Exactly.
And you just can't see it.
Exactly. I mean, how many times have you sat there and you read it and you line it up and you hit it and it goes in the opposite direction that you were expecting it to go in?
Well,
the
not
reaction.
very much anymore.
Well, you don't because you're one of those PGA guys. But I'm talking about, the riffraff, the unwashed masses, me and my compatriots and my playing partners, as we're out there going, why did it go that way? It's optical delusion.
Yeah, it went that way because the slope really told it to go that way.
Well, exactly. It went that way because gravity pulled it that way. I understand that.
Yeah.
And it's more or less a rhetorical question, but it's we've talked and we will be discussing again later on in the show today too, the aim point system, which a lot of pros are using and which is something that you're getting behind. And
I teach.
And that is dependent upon the degree of slope. But we're talking like a 1 degree, a 2 degree, a 3 degree. And I defy anybody, even with their feel, to be able to feel the difference between a 1 degree and a 2 degree slope, even a 1 degree and a 3 degree slope in a green. Those are minuscule differentiations.
They are, and honestly, you can train yourself to feel the difference between that small amount. It's possible, and the people at the aim point have come up with a few ways of doing that. There's slope boards that you can stand on and prop up on a 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree. They even have a little thing in there they make a half degrees. It's unbelievable.
Really? So that you can get the feel.
But it's really hard if you don't train yourself. I mean, it's really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you can't really train yourself, you got to go out to a green. Most people don't have an aim point slope board. So what they have is they go out to the local golf course and they can put their feet on the green. But how do they know?
Right.
You got to have something that tells you what it is on what you feel, so that way you can say, okay, I get this. This is a little bit of this. This is a little bit more of that, and then there's a little bit more, and you can tell the difference. It takes a long time.
in a valiant attempt to assist everybody in doing putting better, because 40% of your strokes, I mean, if you shoot normally, 40% of your strokes are on the green with the putter. And for some of us, it's even more than that. But we're going to try to get some help for you today. Ron Wilkerson, who's the inventor and the head honcho behind a thing called Breakmaster, which we saw down at the PGA show. It's basically an electronic
it's really cool
slope reader.
It's really cool.
He's coming on. Brian Foy with Well Putt System is coming on. And then we'll be talking to some folks too about taking the information and the techniques you get from those guys and putting it with the aim point, and no more 3-putts.
That's really helpful.
Yeah,
it really is, because when you can get your ball moving toward the hole at the end of the putt, as opposed to away from the hole, that second putt's a whole lot shorter.
Yeah, and I found that that's
the aim point. People love to say, "Well, you can make everything." I'm here to tell you that you'll miss it a whole lot closer when you do.
And that's one of the things that I've been working on.
It's closer.
Is instead of trying to put it in on the first putt, no matter where on the green you are, I just try to get it close. Because a lot of times when you're concentrating on putting it in the hole, you get the distance wrong, you get the speed wrong, or whatever, and you find out that your second putt is still as difficult as was your first. So if you just try to get close, get within like 3 feet, so that your second putt's basically a gimme. I love getting gimmies for double bogeys. It is so much easier to play the game that way, which I understand you're kind of aware of after your round or your 2 rounds back to back at French Lick last week. Or are we not supposed to talk about that in public?
No, that's okay. I had a couple of good rounds. I played other than the last couple of holes coming in. I played pretty well. We played from the 7,000 yard version of that golf course.
You were back at the big boy tees.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to play it any farther back, and there was 1,000 more yards out there for me to play, and I'm sure not.
There's like 3 more sets of tees behind you from there, wasn't there?
It was unreal. I played a par 3. It's number 16. In the Senior PGA Championship, they flipped the 9s, but they're back to the original.
Okay, good.
The original routing numbers. Good. So it's number 16, and I played it from 245 yards away.
Par 3, 245 yards. Okay.
Water all the way down the right-hand side, bunkers down the left-hand side, and it was wind in our face. So, yes, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I did hit the club that got me to the green, and that's a driver on a par 3. And the best thing was I hit it to 8 feet.
Cool.
The worst thing after that was I missed the putt, so it's okay. I made my par, and I walked off of there on the first time through. And the second time through, I hit the same shot, except it went over the green. I must have hit it a little bit too hard, and had a really difficult pitch shot. It was 1 foot short of being perfect to ride the slope and take it down to the bottom, but I left it a little bit short, and then I had to putt it down there, and then I missed the comeback putt, so I made a double bogey. I was a little unhappy with that.
Double bogey on Jeff Smith PGA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't even hit a bad shot. It's just that's what happens at the Pete Dye. I wasn't very far off of where I needed to be. I was just over the green. But, it's just such a difficult golf course. I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance, if anybody listening to us ever gets a chance to get to the Pete Dye Golf Club at French Lick Resort and you don't do it, you're not a real golfer.
You should be ashamed.
This thing is unbelievably good.
It is.
I've played it now. I think I've played it probably 6 or 7 times now.
Yeah.
And every time I play it, I love it even more. It was intimidating the first time, but not anymore.
Yeah.
You look at it and you look at, wow, I really need to know how to play this.
Once you know where you're going, it's not as difficult. That's the thing about Pete Dye is he tends to hide stuff from you from the tee. Because you can get to the green, you look back and go, well, that wasn't all that hard,
Yeah.
But from the tee, you can't see where you're going. But anyhow, we're going to talk about putting primarily today, how to read a green, how to make sure that you don't have any more 3, 4, 5 putts, however many you usually average out here. Reading a green and putting and stuff like that is very important, and we're going to work on it All right? And we will do that when we come back, and we will be right back. We are those weekend golf guys. We are powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
And welcome back. John Ashton here with those weekend golf guys in studio. Jeff Smith joining us live from the Golf Cave at Odd Creek. And want to welcome in Dr. Paul Costanzi with Dynamic Medical Chiropractic and Rehab in Louisville, Kentucky. Dr. Paul, thanks for joining us. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you are quite welcome. We are turning to you because I have the most faith in you to answer the question, because I know you work with a lot of golfers. But, you know, flexibility is the key to making sure that golfers not only can hit it well, but don't hurt themselves. How does one, A, get flexible enough to not get hurt, and then B, what do they do when they haven't gotten flexible enough and their golf swing has thrown out their back, or whatever nomenclature they want to use about the pain that they're feeling?
One of the reasons the body isn't flexible is due to a lot of times underlying biomechanic conditions where basically their body doesn't move right, or that their body is limiting their flexibility due to an undetected problem. So, for example, a lot of people that can't flex forward, the body has mechanisms in place to stop you from damaging a disc or damaging a nerve. So the first thing is, don't stretch into pain to make it like I can just burn through the pain. The best thing would be to look underneath it. Why is the body not being flexible?
So like it's a self-protection mechanism then. Sometimes the body is smarter than we are.
Oh, no, the body is always smarter than we are. If it was left up to us, we wouldn't even have a body. We'd be in the shape we're in.
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
So, like, a lot of times people either have a underlying degenerative disc or arthritis in there, so the body doesn't want to flex into it. So you get the pressure or that inflammation to go down, then the body can move through it.
If a guy comes to you and says, "Listen, Doc, I really want to play golf better. I want to be able to hit it farther, and I know that in order to do that, I have to turn better, but I can't. It hurts." Are there like a series of exercises or?
Yeah, there's definitely a series of exercises. What we do in our facility here is we actually take your x-rays, and if you have a curvature on your spine, let's say in your low back, a lot of times that's due to one psoas muscle, which is a deep muscle inside your abdomen, tight, and the other one weak. So we may strengthen one side and stretch the other, or get the pelvis loosened up. And then also a lot of people have imbalances between their quadriceps and their hamstrings. And, getting that body, the lower body, moving correctly is really a big, big thing, and especially with elderly golfers that have arthritis in their back, their knees, their shoulders, their hips, handling that inflammation from the arthritis a lot of times gets the body moving so much better.
It sounds to me like, John, he's talking about exercise.
Yeah, he is talking about exercise.
Kind.
Yeah, well, it's a nasty word, but we have to utter it now and again. I know one time I was out at a driving range and they had a masseuse or a masseur, which I'm not sure which gender is the proper pronunciation there, but I sat down, even though I don't like to be touched because I'm from New England originally. I had like a 5-minute massage. I was surprised very pleasantly at how much easier it was to hit a golf ball correctly after that.
No question. So yeah, a massage is very important. Also, the correct physical therapy, some yoga stretching, Pilates stretching.
Now, would a massage be just a short-term thing, or could I go to a facility like at 10 in the morning and still have the benefits when I got to the golf course at 2 in the afternoon, or is it something where do it now and then go right to the tee type of thing?
Well, I would give it a little time for your body to readjust, but also if you're the type of person that gets a massage and the next day the problem comes back, there's probably an underlying condition you want to look at. Now, if you're a guy that gets a massage and you feel great for 2, 3, 4 weeks, then probably you have a muscular condition, and that's fine.
Dr. Paul Costanzi with Dynamic Medical Chiropractic and Rehab here in Louisville is helping golfers all over this town, and hopefully we can work out a deal, man, where we can get you free up a few moments for us every couple of weeks or so to get some advice out to the folks listening out there, because something simple that can help get an extra 5 to 10 yards is just a little more flexibility. And, a few simple exercises could accomplish that for most of us, no matter how old we may be.
Oh, no question. And then also, like I said, the exercises, and then handling any type of like arthritic knees, arthritic shoulders. And we do that through our medical department. Not only we're chiropractic, we have medical in here. As we do it together, the problems get better a lot faster.
It's fantastic. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a good
fix
idea.
People so they can play golf.
One-stop shopping, man.
Do you see a bunch of golfers that have bad backs come in and they got that old, they hurt their lower back, and you're probably estimating they got that nasty old Johnny Miller reverse C finish back problem?
Your lumbar disc has the same grain or angle of it that can be damaged as your golf swing. So golf swing can actually shear a disc. So making sure that those discs are properly hydrated, moving correctly is very, very important.
How do you give a disc a drink?
It's called imbibition, or it's actually, you got to get the disc to imbibe fluid. And there's actually a chair in our office, an exercise chair, and a set of stretches that can actually, in spinal decompression, which stretches the disc out, and then when it releases it starts to pull back water in. So as you stretch out, it pulls water in. As it releases, it pumps the toxins out. So you're basically repumping up the discs, and then we use a class 4 hot laser that actually heats up the tissue, but it also opens up the cellular membranes to heal 7 times as faster. So a combination of spinal decompression and laser is very amazing at regenerating a disc.
After you go see the doc and he tells you, what you've got to do to make your back healthier, don't swing the same way anymore, fellas. It's going to be the same problem. Go see a PGA professional and say, hey, look, Dr. Spinebender just fixed me.
Well, you got to see the golf doc. You got to see the PGA professional, because it is your body movements that have created the problem, and I get the after effects of poor habits.
And Dr. Paul, we'll go out and we'll all play golf, and we'll have a good time there. We do appreciate your time here with us on those Weekend Golf Guys. Dr. Paul Costanzi with Dynamic Medical Chiropractic and Rehab here in Louisville. Appreciate your time, sir, and thanks for the advice. And we will be right back. Got some green reading to do, and we will do it when we come back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Smith to talk about one of my favorite teaching aids. It's the Putting Stroke Teacher. It is so simple. You clamp it onto your putter. It's got a rod that sticks out through it. You rest your forearms up against this rod. It's fully adjustable. You make your stroke. Your forearms are level. Your putter face goes exactly where it's supposed to. You get to see it all. Make your adjustments as necessary. Everybody needs one of these. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Again, it's tpsteacher.com. Get yours today.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
And welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break here. I'm John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith with us live from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek to Plain and Simple Golf School. Together we are those weekend golf guys. I want to say hi to Brian Foy with Well Putt System, because we're talking about putting, Brian, and there are so many of us weekend golfers who sit at the 19th hole after a round and sit there and get disgusted because we go, if I had just made those 6 extra putts, I could have broken 80. And it gets so frustrating when you miss them for not getting the distance right or not getting the speed right, and it's so difficult for us who don't have enough time to go and practice all the time. So, but you've got a system that can help, I hope.
We definitely do. Well Putt is the name of the training aid company that we distribute here in the U.S., and they're a company out of France, and they've been very popular and have done well with the amateur golfers over in the Europe region, and we brought it to the U.S. at the PGA show this year, and we've had quite some success with the product. Putting mat, the Well Stance, and the Arc to Arc are the 3 main products that Well Putt offers.
I was playing with it a little bit at the PGA show, man, and it was cool.
Yep. I saw it there as well. I liked what I had to see on that mat. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the mat comes in 3 different sizes. There's a 10-foot, a 13-foot, and a 26-foot. The consumers, you typically go with the 10 or 13 foot because it fits inside, perfectly in their man cave or in their office, and it's a tremendous mat. I mean, there's many putting mats to choose from, but the Welling Putt mat specifically has a game, which is nice. You can bet with your friends. You can play one way, which focuses on accuracy, and then back the other way focuses on your feel. So you have 2 different parts of the system that really hone your putting stroke and, really get you dialed in for, when you go out in the golf course. Because typically, when you're using a putting mat, you have a hole and you have a ball and a putter. And typically, the golfer will go and putt from the same location, from the same angle to the same target. They'll master that one putt, but it's hard to take that one putt onto the golf course. But with Well Putt, there's certain different angles and different aiming points, and being able to work the entire mat back and forth really helps a golfer take it to the golf course.
One of the things we like to ask all PGA guys, and you are a PGA guy, is how frustrated do you get when amateur golfers come and they get all excited about whaling a drive an extra 20 yards and don't seem to give a hoot about being able to improve their putting?
That's why they lose.
Yeah.
It definitely is. That's why I was excited to come on the on air today to talk about putting, because it is that important. And people always say, drive for show, putt for dough is a cliche that many golfers use, but they don't really abide by it in their practice situations, and they should. I mean, they should really focus the majority of their time on putting. And with the Well Putt systems that we have put in place, it makes it fun. It's refreshing to practice different ways.
Yeah, and it's not the tedium of just walking around a putting green, which may or may not accurately reflect the greens at the course you're at anyhow. Getting the feel done and getting a technique where you can adapt feel to different feels, if that makes sense. It kind of makes sense to me.
Absolutely, and the feel is important. I mean, different angles is a different feel. Putting from different targets from different targets to different targets is a different feel. Working on just your speed, landing it in the zone, because there's different zones you land the ball in on the mat, and that creates different feel. So all of that is, it is feel, and it's what we can provide. And this is a tool, just a well putting mat. For example, is a tool that they can really sharpen their feel, so they feel like they're on the golf course.
And that's very important. The linoleum on the floor just doesn't make it, in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's just not the same thing.
It ain't. No.
I have some questions about the mat, because I see these cool things. I see targets on it. I see this big arc at the end of it. I see green lines and black lines hashed. You've guys got some markings on this that appear to me that you've built it for a specific purpose. Can you talk about a little bit of that?
Yeah, and that's a good point there. The different starting areas, you have your 3 foot, you have your 6 foot, and you have your 10 foot. And then there's, as you get a larger mat, there's longer targets to hit from as well. But basically, you have two sides of the mat are starting points or tee-off areas, and then there's a target area where there's no hole. So after the hole, there's a cone, and that's where you work on your speed control. So you can land it in the black area if you're working on a downhill putt that's closest to the target. Or you can hit it in the other black area that's segmented. There's an orange piece in between, and then you can work on your uphill putt. So you can really develop your feel on, because a 3-footer, you're going to have an uphill and you're going to have a downhill. Rarely do you have a flat 3-foot putt. And then going back the other way, so the ball, or balls if you're practicing with 3 balls, and which I typically recommend to my students. But when you go back the other way, you have PGA professionals like to call it the ladder drill, where they work on different segments of speed control for putts from 5 feet all the way to 10 feet. So then you can have, and there's a game inside each package as well, that explains, the 18 holes of golf. There's a beginner scorecard, there's a intermediate, and then an expert level as well. So depending on your skill level, you can graduate to each skill level to really, sharpen your feel. So,
and Jeff just alluded to the fact that he was looking at it. Where can the folks who are listening right now see this?
Yeah, they can see it on our website, birdietown.com, or they can, we just, fulfilled a nice order with PGA Tour Superstore nationwide. They saw the potential in the putting mat, and they really like the quality of the mat as well. In addition, there's the Arc to Arc, which is something that really focuses on your stroke. It's a visual guide. Depending on your stroke, it comes in 3 different, categories. You have your straight, more for the standard, that open the toe, close the toe stroke. You have the square, which is, keeping the club face square through the arc of the putt, but obviously there's still going to be a slight arc. And then you have another version that for the guy who likes to come up on the ball and create that top spin, pretty much have a stroke for every golfer.
So in these mats, are they flat mats, or are there different shapes to them? Have you arced the bottom of them? Have you put any rise or fall in them?
That's something that we're continuing to discuss, but at the moment it's a flat mat, and you can roll it up, so it's easy to store. When you roll it back out, you don't have to wait a day until it flattens out. You could roll it up for a year and then take it out, and it'll be flat. So that obviously speaks for the quality of the product.
Brian Foy, we appreciate your time, sir. Well put. Birdietown.com is where folks can go right now and get a look at the thing and check it out, because putting is important. You need to practice, guys. What can I say? I mean, that's strange coming out of my mouth.
Yes, because it is. I gotta admit, this is pretty funny to hear.
It took me almost 3 years just to be able to say the word practice. Now
it did.
Now I'm a proponent. What can I say? What can I say?
I think you figured out that there are benefits to that, like better golf, a lot more smiles.
Yeah,
drinking beer for a different reason on the golf course.
Better golf through practice. Brian, appreciate your time with us, sir, on those weekend golf guys. And again, it's birdietown.com, correct?
birdietown.com, and also at your local PGA Tour Superstore nationwide.
That'll be great. Appreciate your time, sir. Have a great time, and thanks.
Thanks, John and Jeff. You have a good one.
You too, Brian. Take it easy, man.
Thank you.
All right, and you hang out with us, too, because we will be right back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move. Hey, Jeff, I was watching the Golf Channel, believe it or not, the other day, and they did this thing on drivers, and they were showing where on the face of a driver you get the best reaction. And they said that, you hit it below the equator, you're going to lose like 10 to 20 yards. If you hit it on the heel, you're going to lose space. The best place to hit it is in the upper quadrant by the toe.
Yeah, most of the drivers today are kind of built that way, where I think what they did is they may have figured out where most of the people have been hitting it anyway, and they kind of put the hot spot over, where it's like a little above the center of the club and a little bit towards the toe, thinking that they could get people to hit it a little bit farther. But you know what? There's so many people out there that can't hit it there, regardless of the one little spot they put it. There's people who can't hit it anyway.
Yeah.
So, you're struggling.
I was going to say, that's the whole thought between what Dean Knuth did with the high heat driver, is make the whole face a sweet spot. Yeah.
He knew that the average amateur golfer, he can't pick out what spot on the club he's going to hit it. He had to make it so the whole thing was hot.
Yeah.
So no matter, he designed it. When he was telling us about how he designed that thing, I was completely amazed. He taught me something that I did not know. The center of gravity on his club is actually below the center line. And it's the only club that's ever been on the market that the center of gravity of the club is actually below it. He moved it around so that every place was a hot spot on the face. So, I mean, what a perfect driver built for the average guy, because the average guy can't pinpoint where the heck he's going to hit the ball on the face.
Exactly. You will make fewer mistakes, fewer bad shots. Knuth Golf, KNUTHgolf.com. They're going to ask you, if you want to buy one, where you heard about it. Tell them you heard about it from those Weekend Golf Guys, and the whole club will cost you $70 less. All right, you're going to get a $70 discount because you are our listeners. Knuth Golf, KNUTHgolf.com. It's a high heat driver. The entire face is a sweet spot. You need one.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
And welcome back, those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton here in studio. Jeff Smith with us live from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, Plain and Simple Golf School up in Columbus. And we're going out to California, and we're going to talk with Ron Wilkerson, who's the inventor, the genius behind, the head honcho of whatever other terminology you want to give yourself, maybe the emperor or whatever, but of the Brake Master. Ron, great to meet you, man. Thanks for joining us here on those Weekend Golf Guys. How you doing, man?
Good to be with you guys. Enjoy talking about the Brake Master anytime I have a chance to.
So it's definitely your baby, huh?
No question.
You know, I have a brother-in-law who insists he knows how to read a green, and he three putts as often as I do. I admit I don't know how to read a green. You got two kinds of people, those who admit they don't know how to read a green and those who don't admit they don't know how to read a green.
I tend to agree with you. I helped create the Brake Master with my partner, and the reason is I can't read a green. And I would get out there on the golf course, and I think it goes one way, and I'd putt and then see it go another way. Or, I'd really even if I thought I could see the break, either way overestimated or way underestimated. And I thought there's got to be a better way. And, golf is about numbers. Mm-hmm. We know the number of each club is going to carry, how much distance that's going to be. And we, now we have range finders and we have GPS systems to help us find distance. But we get to the green and it's all gut feel, which is ridiculous because there are numbers that apply to the green. And, Dave Pell's made a study of this, and we based a lot of what we created in the Breakmaster on his book, The Book of Putting. And, there are numbers. The distance is a factor, but also the degree of slope and the direction of slope. And those are all things that cause the ball to roll the way gravity tells it to roll. And I realized that I was not the only putter out there that didn't know how to read greens. So it's really one of the great myths of golf that people can read greens, and most people can't. And I'm sure there probably are some gurus out there that actually can, but my belief is they're using a green reader.
Exactly. I mean, nobody's eyes are that good. And
especially when you realize that very slight,
you have to understand the slope.
Yeah, very slight degrees of slope can affect your putt a great deal.
Yeah.
And even if it's on a short putt, if you have a 1 degree break, you're going to get a 6 to 8 inch break out of just a 3-foot putt. So, that's a very small level of break, but it does make a big difference when you're putting on the golf course.
And it's hard to comprehend that being that close, you can be that far off with something that's not enough to actually perceive visually.
Yeah, actually it is. And because what we have on golf courses is, believe it or not, very, very slight degrees of slope. If it's a massive slope on a golf green, it's generally in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 degrees. That is really small for the eye to detect. And those are things that make a huge difference in how your ball rolls. Most greens, the slope is averaging between flat and maybe 2 or 3 degrees or 4 degrees, But like I said, on some of the courses that I've measured, on the outside, you're only talking about maybe 5 or 6 degrees, and that's something that's really easy to detect. So, the fact is, very slight degrees of slope are the things that can cause your ball to miss the hole, and we've done a lot of tests out on golf courses to prove that.
Ron Wilkerson, the inventor, the guy in charge of the Breakmaster device, which we will get into and explain in greater detail in just a few seconds. But one of the things also is there seems to be a number of sadists who are joining the ranks of golf course architects these days, and they take extreme pleasure in putting together greens that are impossible, A, to read and B, to putt on.
Well, I think that what golf course designers like to do is make it hard. And one of the ways they make it hard is by disguising the break, by using hills around the green that throw off your perspective, or trees or bushes or various other things, or the way the traps are banked near the hole or near the green can also throw off your perception of how the thing is breaking. So I don't know if they're being sadistic, but they're being tricky in that they're trying to make the green as hard as it can be. And the way pro golfers deal with that is they don't do it by eyeball. They measure, and they measure it with the Breakmaster, and then they chart the greens. I mean, we have quotes from many, many golfers on the tour, on all the tours, that talk about how they chart out a green using the Breakmaster, and then refer to those charts when they putt on the green. And when a putt is worth $100,000, $200,000 to a tour pro, you're not going to guess. You're not going to eyeball it. You want to have some assurance that what you're going to do is actually what's going to happen out there. So that's why they don't take that chance. They measure it, or they have their caddies chart out the green, show which direction of break it is and how much break at any various point. And prior to tournaments, the tournaments usually mark off the various pin positions that they're going to be positioning the hole at during the tournament. So the caddy can go out prior to the tournament and, drop a Breakmaster down and take note of how that is breaking right at that hole location for each of the 4 days of the tournament. So, this is science, and, the fact is the guys that take the time to do it and figure things out in advance of getting out there and putting, those are the guys that make the putts and make the money.
You can go to breakmaster.com right now and check out some videos that Ron has up on the site and get an idea. But for those who aren't running to the internet right now to watch those videos, Ron, could you explain as concisely as possible what the Breakmaster is and how it works?
It's a very simple device. I mean, it's very technically complicated inside of it, but what it is a digital level, and it reads, unlike, most bubble levels, it reads in all directions. So it has a flat bottom on it, and you lay it down on the green, and there are two aspects to the BrakeMaster display. There's the arrow, which shows the brake direction, and that's basically like a compass. It points in whatever direction is downhill. That's what we call the fall line, or the direction that gravity is going to take your ball. So that's the first aspect of green reading, is the brake direction. The second aspect is the numerical display on our BrakeMaster shows the amount of brake, the brake amount in degrees. So the BrakeMaster shows you the brake direction, and it shows you the brake amount. And looking at that, when you put it on the green, you can tell from that exactly how the ball is going to break, or more or less. There's no exact science, because there are other factors that come into it too, such as grain and stimp, and factors like that. But at least it gives you a benchmark, and it gives you an idea of how the ball is going to react when you putt it, because the biggest factor of how the ball rolls is, first of all, your putting stroke, but secondly, gravity. Because, if you could putt as hard as you wanted at the hole, it'd be wonderful, but you can't. You have to do it so that it gradually drops in, as every golfer knows. Right. But the slower the ball goes, the more it's affected by gravity. And so that's why you want to know what the brake is. And basically, like I said, what the BrakeMaster shows you is the brake at any given point on the green. You just put it on the green and turn it on the button, and within 2 seconds it shows you the brake at that point of the green.
I know you've mentioned that there are a lot of other factors that come into it, but is there a rule of thumb that X number of degrees of slope equal X number of inches of break?
Yeah, we have charts that are in. We furnish a greens book with each BrakeMaster, and that allows a golfer to chart out the greens. And in the back of the greens books, we have basically diagrams that show you at 3 feet, at 6 feet, and 9 feet how much break you can expect on a 1 degree break, a 2 degree break, and a 3 degree break. And these are, this is if you're putting straight against the break. So, you have to make adjustments accordingly. But there are, we've done tests on a lot of different grasses and a lot of different slopes. And basically these are averages of what you can expect the ball to roll, when you get it out of the golf course.
Are there any degrees, beyond which you're on your own even with a BrakeMaster?
Well, the thing is, and you'll see this on some of the major tournaments where they make, like the U.S. Open, where they make very fast greens and and with severe breaks. So the real factor is really distance, break, and stimp. And, the stimp is the speed of the green. But that, most golfers, as soon as they get out and start putting on a green, stimp really is one thing that you can feel. You can feel how fast the green is and how much you have to adjust your putt according to putt a certain distance. But, when it's a fast green, it's going to break a little bit more than when it's a slower green. No question about that.
Yeah, well, the reason I was asking is we just played a Donald Ross course up in Indiana where there wasn't a flat lie anywhere, including the greens.
Right.
And talk about your sadists, man. Wow, that guy was. Hey, listen.
Well, the other thing that's important in charting greens, and I might be jumping ahead, but what tour pros know is that the way to take the break out of the green is by putting uphill at the hole. And if you can land your approach shot so that you're putting uphill, that means you're taking the break out of that putt. If you've charted out the green and you know where the hole is and you know the break direction, you can kind of gauge where to land your ball so that you can so that putt is not going to be putting across the break where it's going to get the biggest break.
Right.
You're going to be putting uphill, and uphill breaks, you're putting uphill, you're pretty much taking the break right out of the putt.
Ron, you're talking to a bunch of people who are just happy if they get to the green. Okay. Listen, Jeff Smith is a great aficionado and proponent of the aim point system, which I understand would work really well in conjunction with BrakeMaster. And if you hang out with us through the break, I'm going to let you guys talk about that, because that's something I think will help everybody. So hang with us if you would, Ron. We appreciate it. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America, and we will be right back.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
And thanks for hanging with us. We are back. John Ashton here in studio. Jeff Smith with us from the Gulf Cave at Otter Creek. And Ron Wilkerson, the break master, is with us also here. And Jeff's getting all excited, man, because
I am.
Because he's
I can't, I have seen this product a couple years ago at the PJ show, but I did not stop and see it last year. I was a little busy. But as I go back and I look at this product yet again, as a teacher of reading slope with your feet and converting it and learning how to read greens better, I'm telling you, this thing is better than the digital level that I use. Here's a couple things. The thing that tells you exactly which direction it's breaking is that arrow is the thing that makes this whole thing better than any other level, because you really do know which way the dang slope is going.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to aim it. You just lay it on the green and it shows you.
You just lay it on there and the thing will circle around and go, nope, it's over here now. It's going to break this direction. The putt's going to go in the direction of the arrow. And then, Ron, as I get on your website and I look at how you've done this, where you chart greens using Google Earth. Now, as a coach of tournament players, I'm constantly on Google Earth, and I'm constantly talking to them about, look at where you are. And what you're telling me, and you've described it beautifully on your website, that how you can zoom in and actually get the slope on the greens. You can essentially get elevation change on the greens.
The Google Earth won't really show you the elevation as precisely as you need to. What Google Earth is really helpful for is getting the shape of the green and entering that shape on each page of the greens book. We have greens books that come with the Breakmaster, and that allows you to chart out a golf course. We have a page for each green. And what you do with Google Earth is you zoom in on, like hole 1, for example, and then the Google Earth allows you to turn the green so that the fairway, you have a straight line down from the fairway, and that allows you to orient it. So then you draw the shape of the green for each one of the holes on the golf course, and then you take your Breakmaster with that greens book, and then you take a series of measurements around the green. You don't need to measure every couple feet. As long as you even measure like 4 aspects, 4 quadrants of the green, it's going to give you a pretty good idea of how the green is breaking. And then you enter those slope and directions in your greens book. And we have examples on our website, breakmaster.com, BREAKMASTER.com. We have a feature story. On Google Earth, we have also a feature story on how we charted out Riviera Country Club prior to the Northern Trust Open a couple of years ago. And we created greens books that all the pros used for putting and basically gauging their putts. And we had one of the top putters, the top putter at that tournament, Scott McCarron, used our greens book and is referencing on our website how it worked for him. So Google Earth is a phenomenal tool to allow you to get the shape of the green, and then you take the Breakmaster with that greens book shape out to the course and get the actual measurement.
I know, Ron, you can't use this while you're playing golf, especially in a competitive atmosphere. But
right.
Just kicking around the golf course, me and a couple of buddies and stuff like that. It would be cool to have one of those just to sit down and at least post a decent score for a change.
Well, I've done it both ways. I mean, legally, what you're able to do with the Breakmaster is after everybody's putted out, you're able to lay it down and then take a reading and then enter that in your greens book. Mm-hmm. And then over a period of rounds of golf on that course, you build up basically a reference of how it's going. But I've also done it with a foursome. Basically, it's our local rule of okay, Ron takes the reading of the Breakmaster near the hole and tells us all basically how it's breaking at the hole, and then we all lower our score a little bit. It's not a competitive round; it's a just fun, casual round.
Yeah, I haven't had any
it works beautifully for that.
Yeah, I haven't had any USGA rules officials follow me for a couple of years now. So
yeah,
no, take that back.
That's right.
I have played with you.
Yes, I have.
Okay. But it is absolutely legal to use a greens book with charts of the greens, and this is what all the pros do on all the tours. We have golfers on all the major tours, and you go to our pro users page and you'll see PGA, LPGA, Champions Tour, Euro Tour, just about every tour. We have a lot of golfers that are using the Breakmaster, and these are guys that have bought them from us. We don't give the product away. We basically, we give pros a discount, but we're pretty religious about that.
Well, I can hear people screaming right now. So since you brought it up, let's explore that. How much is it?
The Breakmaster list for $119.95.
Okay.
And it is available on our website, and we have some other wonderful dealers that we work with online in the whole golf. Sports by Sager are a couple of them that work with us as well online. So happy to recommend that our online sales is alive and well.
And you figure you got a foursome, it's $1 a hole. You can make that back in 3-4 rounds.
Absolutely. And the greens books are really inexpensive. The greens books are $3.95 each.
And one comes with each one that you buy.
Yeah,
you get the first
greens
one
book
free.
comes with the Breakmaster, but then you can obviously buy more for the other golf courses that you want to chart out.
Right. And real quick, Jeff, this answers, the question that you've never been able to answer for me to my satisfaction when you talk about the aim point system is how,
I'm sorry to leave you unsatisfied.
Well, that's okay, man. You're not the first. And unless you have a protractor with you, there's no way to be able to tell the difference between a 1, 2, 3 degree plus the aim point. You're talking percentages. But with Ron's Breakmaster, that's a symbiotic relationship right there, man. You've got all the answers
they got a conversion chart you can stick on the side of the thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were saying offline,
math.
we've worked with Mark Sweeney at Aimpoint. We have a great relationship with them. The only difference between Aimpoint and what we do is they do their charts according to percentage of slope, which is what golf course designers tend to use when they're initially creating it. We use degrees of slope, but we have on our website, we have a little conversion chart that is exactly the right size to tape on the side of your Breakmaster that converts from percentage of slope to degrees of slope. So you can use the aim point system in perfect simpatico with Breakmaster.
As long as there's no math,
Just
we'll
take
be
the
happy.
math out. Right?
Yeah.
Take the math out because nobody's going to do it.
No. Listen,
What a wonderful thing.
I can't even add up my score correctly.
Can't help you there.
The best part about that, John, is that the people at the USGA knew that years ago when they said, "Hey, look, you're not responsible for addition. Just be honest and write down when you made the 4 that you wrote down a 4 for that hole.
That's it.
We don't care if you're smart enough to add or if you're not.
Just as long as the individual numbers are correct.
That's right.
The computer can take care of it at the end. I got you, man. No
Because
problem.
they know that there's not a golfer out there that's going to be good at math while they're on the golf course. That's just how it is.
Or when they're at the
They're not
19th
even good at
hole
driving
either.
golf carts.
That's even worse. All right, Ron Wilkerson. It's breakmaster.com, BREAKMASTER. And is that you putting on the video?
That is me. Yeah, actually, that.
How many takes did it make, man? Come on, be honest with me, man.
Right there.
Okay, it took more than 2.
Okay. Thank you. Honesty, I appreciate it. Ron, thanks for spending time with us, man. It's a great thing, and it's going to be like the savior for all of us hacks who don't know how to read a green. And I
Thanks
think
very much for your time. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys.
we appreciate your time, Ron. Thank you so much. Great to meet you, man. And you going to be in Orlando next January?
I'm not certain, but we're definitely online. Whenever anybody wants to reach us, they can find us there.
Not a problem, man. Appreciate it. Ron Wilkerson, Breakmaster. Listen, we are got an announcement we'd like to make. We've mentioned it, and those weekend golf guys, we have finally done it. We have our very own smartphone app, so that you may now listen to us on your schedule, not ours. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm out on the golf course at noon on Saturday, John. I can't hear y'all. So, and that's usually like, my sister who says that. So, she wouldn't listen to me anyhow, but you can download the app now for your Android device at Google Play and give us a couple of weeks, and the iPhone people will actually get their act together, and then we'll be able to, get it downloaded from there too. It's all created. It's all up there. We're just in line waiting for the official okie dokie from the geeks at Apple. So they will be coming along soon. It is cool. I think it is very cool.
We're going to be everywhere you are. That's
right.
the best part about it.
That's
right. So we're worldwide.
And nation, what's that? That's a song word, nation. Never mind. It's a rock song, and we're not a rock song people anymore. We talk about golf. I got to forget that whole rock and roll disc jockey life. It's behind me now. Listen, you can check us out online anytime, thoseweekendgolfguys.com, and there'll be links there to download the brand new smartphone app that we just talked about. You can like us on Facebook, and we'd appreciate it if you just went to facebook.com/golfguys, or follow us on Twitter. We are at WKND Golf Guys. I think I have covered all the bases. Mr. Jeff, appreciate your time, sir. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us this week. We will be back right here next week, same time. Go out and play some golf. That's what it's there for. Have a great week. See y'all. Bye.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.